said I wasn't going to come into a theme park this week, or I wasn't going to vlog in a theme park this week, but turns out I've ended up in Epcot again. I don't know how that's happened. Just, I thought I'm going to come for a coffee and a wander as usual. I've just dropped Jason off at the airport for 2 weeks, so that's a bit rubbish. So I'm on my own again tonight, but only for one night because my Zara is in Manchester Airport already. Well, she's in the hotel in Manchester Airport with my mum and dad, and they are arriving tomorrow. I'm so excited to see her. I just can't wait. I've just called her. She was like, "Oh, you're in Epcot again." She needs to change her attitude on that because she'll be coming here all the time. Got myself a Starbucks. I've got myself oat milk latte and croissant donut. I've never tried them before, but it feels very soft and fresh, so I'm sure it's going to be nice. So while I'm sat here in this little quiet spot in Epcot, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who watched my first vlog. And this is going to be on the third one, so hopefully you've watched number 2 as well. But the biggest question I've had is how did we get a visa, or a green card, whatever you want to call it. And it wasn't easy. I think people look at the end result and think, oh great, we can do that, we can move to Orlando. But honestly, it was really hard. We first found out that Jason could apply for a visa back in August 2021. And the type of visa that he applied for was called an EB2, National Interest Waiver. So it means the job he does is of the national interest here in the US, because they have a shortage of people who are applying or successfully getting those jobs. So it can be anything from, for context, Jason is a pilot, but it can be anything for like special scientists, or you've done some really rare university degree and you've gone in this very specific field. But I think there's many different things. Don't ask me how you find out what those things are, but anyway, we found out that he could apply for the green card. After doing some research for a few months, we decided that we were going to use an immigration lawyer, purely because we quickly realised how much paperwork had to go into it and how accurate your application had to be, because it's you apply and then if they can just reject you because the application's bad or anything. So we decided to go with an immigration lawyer. We were recommended somebody from another colleague of Jason's, so we decided to go with them, which I'll be open and honest, it wasn't cheap. It was around $13,000 up front for the lawyer. But that wasn't the end of the fees. We then had to pay many other fees going along the way. And one major problem that we come across was the fact that we weren't living in the US. So we were applying for this visa while we lived in Qatar in the Middle East. We don't have any serious connections in the US. We don't have any family here. We know of a couple of people, but we don't have any solid friends. We feel that when you're applying for the visa, they think only the US exists. So when you had to pay certain fees, they wouldn't accept a non-US credit card. So if we hadn't have had the immigration lawyer, I don't know how we'd have paid the fees, because we had to then send them money, they had to pay the fees on our behalf, and it was just really complicated. We went through several months of completely no contact about the visa, where you were thinking, God, what's happening? Why isn't anything progressing? I don't know why there's some really loud music all of a sudden in the background. Eventually put the application in, or the lawyer put the application in on the 22nd of February 2022, all the two, so you're never going to forget that date. That date becomes very important. It becomes your priority date. Now this is where your nationality comes into it. They go by passport, so your nationality. So they let certain amounts of each nationality per year have a green card. Doesn't matter what kind of green card you apply for or what kind of visa, but they only give out certain amounts. So apparently if you're Indian or Chinese, the wait is in years, 10 years. So because we're British, we were quite lucky that our wait wasn't that long, but from start to finish it took just under 2.5 years. So that just shows you how long it takes. And not only does it take that long, like I say, you've got the lawyer fees and everything at the beginning. Then once we started to get quite close at the end, before we actually got the visa in our hand, you've got to be available to go to the embassy, which is in your own country. So we done that in Qatar. but they give you a date, you have to be there, and it was really awkward managing all those things with Jason being away all the time. And then it's really nerve-wracking. The interview process was just bizarre. You go into this room and you're in this room with loads of other people who are in exactly the same position, and you just walk up to a window and find out whether you've got that visa or not, and you can see people, how tense people are, and it's really hard. But anyway, I can go into more detail. If anybody wants to know any more, you can message me on Instagram. I'm quite happy to recommend the lawyer and everything. But one of the major things as well was unexpected trips to the US. Now, like I've said a few times, we lived in the Middle East. That's not a short flight. So twice we had an unexpected trip to the US. So you've got to factor those kind of costs in as well. The last one was the best story. They contacted us and said we needed to go and get our fingerprints took. Well, we'd already done that at the embassy, so I rang around, blah, blah, blah. But no, you have to come and get your fingerprints done within 3 weeks. So luckily, Jason had 5 days off work within that 3 weeks. So we had to fly all the way to Chicago. You could fly anywhere. You could pick any fingerprint place to go to. We just picked Chicago. We'd never been. We thought we'll go for 3 or 4 nights, make the most of it. It was a 15-hour flight. You know, you have to be prepared to do that. The money it costs, the time. And when we got there, we goes in the room, we had to wait in the queue, sat down, and they took a picture first. The lady took a picture of me first, and then she handed me back the paperwork, and she went, "Okay, are you finished?" I went, so I thought we were coming to get our fingerprints done. She went, No, your fingerprints have already been taken. It was just a photo. So we had flew all the way to Chicago for a photo took, and we just had to walk away. We just laughed as we left the door. We just thought, what the anyway, so this is what you've got to be prepared for. But when you get that visa in your hand after putting all of that effort in, all of that work, oh my god, you just think, you know, even if you then had changed your mind and you didn't want to move here, you were moving here because you'd put that much effort into it. It was crazy. But yeah, like I say, anybody who wants any extra information, I'm quite happy to talk about it, but I won't bore everybody on here because it is a long drawn out process. But message me on Instagram and I'll be happy to help. So I'm on my way out already. I've only been here an hour, but I got a Lightning Lane for Guardians at 1 o'clock. You know, when you can join the queue again at 1 o'clock. Managed to get one while I was in the Starbucks queue. So that was good, but the wait time it says approximately 320 minutes, or it did when I checked it about 20 minutes ago, which is 5 hours. And I've got loads to do at home with Mum, Dad and Zara coming tomorrow. So I thought, I'm going to go home, I'm going to get my jobs done, and then I'm going to come back and ride Guardians and potentially, there's the monorail. I'm going to go home, I'm going to get all of the boring jobs done, and then I'm going to come back and ride Guardians, and then possibly stay for the fireworks, but I'll decide later on. So I'll take you with me. So I'm back in Epcot. It's about 4 hours later now, and my Guardians virtual queue just keeps getting pushed back and back now. It's now 5 to 8. It was originally, I think, 6:15. So anyway, I'm back here. So I'm just going to have a little wander around. I've put my new t-shirt on, the one that I got in the Poly. I think I'm going to go and try and do single rider for Test Track. Let's see if Test Track's got a single rider line open, because this closes shop. virtual queue, and I was just in the single riders thing for test track, which I got on in 15 minutes, so that was good. And I got an email to say I'm not in the virtual queue anymore because they're not going to reach my boarding group tonight. So never mind, I'm still in Epcot, aren't I? That's all I need. The test track was good, but I am pleased that they shouldn't it, and they're putting it back to, well, rumour is they're putting it back to how it was originally, which it was far better, wasn't it, when it was a bit more like classic styled. I thought so anyway. So I've stopped for a little snack in Epcot, and I've got a poutine from Canada. Well, not Canada, but the refreshment pod just before you get to Canada. This is what they look like. I've just dropped a bit of cheese on the table now. The bird can eat that. And if you didn't like cheese curds, but they just taste like what's it called? Halloumi cheese. Just less salty. And the rest is just gravy and chips. It's like the perfect British snack. I love it. Hi everybody, and welcome to the next morning. I left you last night in Epcot. I decided not to stay for the fireworks. It was actually cold, and I didn't have a hoodie with me or anything, so I left about 7:30, I think. Yeah, so it's the next day, and it's the day that I've been waiting for a long time. It's finally the day that Zara arrives. She's on the plane now. They're on the Aer Lingus from Manchester. So they land in about 4.5 hours. They took off before I even got up this morning. So yeah, that's good. So I've just pulled up to charge the car. I'm just on the 27. I did go to the one at Champions Gate, but it was full, so I've had to come to this one. So I just thought I'd quickly mention about electric cars, just in case anybody was thinking about renting one when they came here, because I know it is an option. We rented a Tesla last year when we went to Chicago because we were thinking about buying one, so we just wanted to see what it was like. But the downside with an electric car, if you can't charge it at home, which we can't at the moment because we obviously not living in our own property at the moment, so we have to rely on chargers outside, and it's a bit of a pain really, because not only are they, number one, expensive, far more expensive than fuel, we've worked out, they're sometimes not available, or the Electrify America ones, I think they're quite known for being, faulty, and whereas if you've got a Tesla, there's Tesla chargers everywhere. So I think that's, if you are going to rent an electric car, it needs to be a Tesla, because you've got far more choice for chargers. But the chargers, again, the Tesla chargers are expensive, more expensive than fuel, and you've got to factor in the time of charging them, and yeah, so it's not something I would probably recommend if you're coming here on holiday. And another thing on the driving as well, if you are renting a car, I did notice last week when we went into Universal that they've put their parking up to $32 per day now. It was $30 when we first arrived, which was just under 6 weeks ago. So that price has changed in the last 6 weeks. But then when I went into Epcot last night, I did pay attention. Obviously I'm not paying because I've got an annual pass, but I did pay attention, and theirs is still $30. I mean, it's still extortionate, but yeah, so it's likely that Disney will put theirs up to $32 because they usually follow suit. Once one puts them up, the other one do as well. Yeah, so I would expect the parking to go up to $32 at some point in the next few weeks. Hiring an electric car, probably something I would say not to bother with. So today I'm just going to charge the car now, and I'm going to walk to 7-Eleven and grab a coffee while this is charging. And then I'm just looking at the guy over there who's sat on the bench that I usually sit on. He's charging his car next door, and he's sat in the sun, so I can't sit on the bench because it's taken. Yeah, so I'm going to charge the car, and then I'm going to pop to Posner Park, which is just in Davenport. A lot of you probably recognise the name of it. It's just off the I-4. It's got a Target, it's got what else has it got? It's got one of those Ross Dress for Less, Marshalls, Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to pop over there. I need to return an Amazon parcel, which I can do in Staples. There's one of them over there as well. So I'm going to return that, and then I'm going to pop into Target and get a few bits and pieces. And then I'm also going to I need a gift bag because I've got Zara a few little gifts, and I want to try and get her a balloon as well that says welcome home, because this is now her new home. So I'm hoping I can find one of them in either Target or Hobby Lobby. I'm sure I will. And then they also have a crumble cookies there, and she tried crumble cookies last year when we went to Ohio, and yeah, she loved them. Couldn't eat all of them, and I think half the box went in the bin, but you know, it's her first day in the US, so I'm going to treat her. So I'm going to get her a box of crumble cookies, and I'm just going to set her up a little gift bag and balloon and her cookies and everything. Day, and I'll try and get some more. So it'll be 2 weeks today that we're moving in, because we'll get the keys 2 weeks yesterday, and then we'll be moving in the day after when our furniture's delivered. So it's a lovely day here in Florida. Zara's just done a school assessment, so we'll see how that turns out. She's got another one in 3 days' time. So for the rest of the day we're not going to be up to much, but then tomorrow we're going to Anna Maria Island for the night, so we'll definitely take you along and show you that. And then maybe after we've come back from there, I'll try and get a little bit more footage from inside the house, so you can see how it looks. But basically it's finished now and it looks amazing, and I just want to move in. place is absolutely stunning, as you can see. We've just come for one night for my mum's birthday. It's unbelievable. We've rented a golf cart and I'm the only one who can drive it, so that's great. But we've just made a quick little pit stop on the beach and then we're going to go and do some more exploring. So we've rented a golf cart for the day and it's like a comedy act. There's me dad over there because his hat's just flew off. It's already broken down, we're in a new one. Now he's going to fight with the traffic while he goes and gets his hat that he got in New York. Oh, has he got it? Yay! Are we having a good day, girls?
Yes, we are.
Sarah, do you not want to be on? Oh, Sarah doesn't want to be on the vlog.
Okay.
Never mind. So we're in our second golf cart because the first one broke down on us. Now we're in a pink one, we were in a yellow one before. But we're having fun anyway.
Say hi to Ava.
Hi, Ava. Had our little night stay in Anna Maria Island. Obviously we're still here. It's so beautiful. I've just come out to take a few pictures while there's nobody around because it's only 8:25, so it's really quiet. Yeah, so we've had a lovely time. I would definitely recommend coming here. It's about 100 miles from Orlando, so you could do it in one day, but we decided to stay over. It was a little treat for my mum's birthday anyway, so I thought why not, we might as well just stay over one night, then we didn't have to do the drive. And as well, as you know, we've got an electric car, so it probably would have done the whole drive there and back, but I didn't want to risk it. So there's some outlets just about, I think about 30 minutes from here, so we're going to stop there on the way home and charge the car. So yeah, so we have to check out at the place by 10, so like in an hour and a half. So we just brought some breakfast things with us, but there is things around here. There's a little coffee shop over there. I'll take you over and show you in a minute. They sell breakfast things. There's an ice cream shop as well. They also do breakfast things. And if you've got a car, then I suppose you can get around the island. It's about 7 miles long, but then only about a mile wide. So you can walk it if you can do that long of a walk. But we hired a buggy yesterday. You'll have seen I put a little clip of the buggy in. The buggy broke down, but to be fair, they had a new one to us within about 10 minutes. It was $40 an hour to hire the buggy. So you can do them like overnight, and you might get a better deal if you do it overnight, but we didn't want to hire one overnight. We didn't really need it. 2 hours was enough. We managed to get up and down the whole island and see a couple of things that we wanted to see. And loads of people drive buggies around here. I did feel a bit like, you were holding the road up because I think the buggy only goes about 25 miles an hour, but to be honest, there was loads around. So yeah, we done that. You do have to be over 25 to hire one, and you have to have your own insurance here. I'm not sure whether a hire car insurance would cover it, or whether you would need to maybe take out something a little bit extra with them, but my car insurance covered it.
Lots of different companies. The one we rented them from was called Lazy Turtle. I'll tag them in the description below, and I'll also tag the place that we stayed. I'll put that in the description below. They're called AM Rentals. I did book it through booking.com though, so they advertise on there. I always find booking.com a lot easier to use. It wasn't the cheapest place to stay overnight, but the place is absolutely amazing. I will just take a quick video before we check out. I forgot to do it yesterday, so I'll do that. It's really nice. It's a 1-bedroom place, but then it has 2 sofa beds in the living room as well. So me and Zara had a sofa bed each, and then my mum and dad had the bedroom. It has 2 bathrooms, so we had our own bathroom. So yeah, that was really nice. But there's plenty of things to do on the island. Like I said, there's coffee shops, there's restaurants, there's a Publix, there's a Walgreens, there's a CVS. So you could absolutely come here for a week and explore the different beaches. The beaches just go up and down. It's really beautiful. So I'll have a little wander and I'll show you the little shops over the road and the outside of the place that we stayed. So this is the place that we stayed in last night. Ours is the very end one. You can see that's my car there parked up, and you can see there's other people got golf carts. And then when you go through the gate, I'll show you the swimming pool, which is shared between the whole building. I think there's about 4 or 5 apartments in there. Let's get the gate open. So there's plenty of seats, and there's also a barbecue there to use. With the gas bottle provided. We'll go back outside. It was in a really good location. We found that it's sort of like it's in the middle, and we wanted to visit a specific place on Bean Point, which this is just probably about a 10-minute walk from Bean Point. We're closer to there than the bottom end of the island. This is like a fish restaurant. We didn't go in there last night. Well, it was too busy, to be honest. They didn't have any room, and we ended up going to a pizza place just down the road. But there's a little shopping area here, and there's a really nice gift shop. I'm going to get a t-shirt before I leave. And then there's an ice cream shop called 2 Scoops. Got ice cream from there last night. And they do breakfasty things and coffee, sandwiches. So there's a little gift shop there. It says closed. I hope that opens before we go. The ice cream shop, and literally that is the beach. It's a lot clearer today as well. Yesterday it was a little bit cloudy. Not that particularly bothers me. Oh, there's the coffee shop, and that is open. There's a coffee shop there called Cool Beans AMI. The birds in the trees. The birds are very noisy this morning. trolley on the island. Whether you can see it, it's just parked there. It's like yellow, and it's completely free. It runs up and down the island. We haven't been on it because we done the golf cart option instead, but the trolley is free to use, and apparently it runs every 20 minutes. There's an app and it tells you like a live time of when it's going to be there, and so there it is there parked up. It obviously waits at the stop, each stop for a couple of minutes as well, to give you a chance to catch it. And we seen the stops yesterday, there was plenty up and down. So that's a good option if you didn't want to pay for a buggy or you had lots of kids or whatever.